Hello my fellow donuts and welcome back to Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Let's continue. Alright, 3 months ago the alchemist that lived in this house was murdered, and now we've got a situation of our own. There, on the floor, in front of the terrified Maya, was the professor, now completely made of gold. What the heck is going on? I thought the professor was supposed to be meeting with the storyteller. But yeah, they made their way here. And to make matters worse, now Maya is accused of being a witch. Let's help Maya. Hi, old friend. Yeah, I guess I left off in the middle of the cross-examination. Let's hear out what they have to say. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no mystery. Same place, same magic trick. This time her luck ran out and she dropped that magic scepter. The truth obscured by a twisted ruse. The witch couldn't vanish, but did confuse. It happened because the professor unraveled the mystery behind all these witches. Did he? Really? Well, I'm curious. Tell me, the same magic trick was used? They are referring to an incident from 3 months ago. Much like this incident, a man lost his life to witchcraft in that very room. So, how exactly did he die? Did they tell us? Because I don't remember. It was the master of that residence, Sir Newton Belduke, the alchemist. Yeah, I forgot. He was pretty handsome. He suffered death by strangulation. Fingers marks were left in his neck. I bet those fingers were small. I mean, I have suspicion it might have been his butler who killed him. Though they did seem to have been in good relationships. He had locked himself in his study and the keys were still in his pocket. In other words, no one could have entered that room. Maybe someone had spare keys, didn't you think about that? The perpetrator disappeared from a locked room, just like in this case. A large amount of powdered medicine was spilled all over the floor. Powdered medicine. Sir Belduke was an alchemist. He possesses various medical... he died. Concoctions. Due to the presence of that powder, had anyone entered that room, clear footprints would have remained, yet there were none. Well, maybe that powder was spilled after the murder happened? Didn't you think about that? Murderer could just drop it later, before leaving the place. To confuse you guys. And you are so stupid to think that it's a witch because there are no footprints. That's the kind of mystery that the professor would have loved to solve. Damn it. Thus there were two unnatural circumstances to Sir Belduke's death. The culprit's disappearance from a locked room. Both could be and the fact that they appeared not to have walked on the floor. It's almost as if they flew away. Again, both things could have been justified? I don't know how to say it. I mean, first, who says he has the only key? Maybe there were more than one keys to that room. And second, that spilled powder, I already explained. It could have been spilled after the murder happened. And also it doesn't cover a whole floor. But then again, even if it did, it doesn't really matter. In other words, it couldn't have been the Dimir magic that was used in my case the other day. Seems like the killer leviated above the floor, strangled Belduke, and vanished into thin air. But what does that have to do with this trial? It has been 3 months since that murder. Despite that, we still haven't been able to find the witch responsible. But now, having eluded us for so long, that witch has finally been brought before this court. We will have justice. What are you even talking about? What? No way. Now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist. Wait a second. Now he thinks Maya killed the alchemist too. We weren't even here back then, but it's not like I can explain that to him. Yeah. Well then, why don't you interrogate the witnesses? Now that you are aware of the connection between the two murders.
Objection!
You can't be serious. 3 months ago, we weren't even... Defender, you may interrogate the witnesses. May their testimonies lead us to the truth. I really hope so. Maya is on the stakes, and I love that girl. We all know what happened to that alchemist, so this case is no... Maybe I should just use hint and not, like, waste my time. You know what? I have lots of those. Press. Same place, a magic trick. This time her luck ran out. Same magic trick. But yeah, actually, what's her name again? Been a while. No. Oh, I have memo. Cool. Wait. Profiles. What's her name? No. I don't have her in the profiles? Why? Well, never mind. She told me that the trick, not the trick, the magic word, the magic whatever she used. She couldn't do it this time because it's just different magic. So it's not the same magic trick. Sorry, guess I'm tired again. Would you care to elaborate on that, Miss Primstone? You could say I am a scholar, and my knowledge is vast and diverse. I know a thing or two about witchcraft. Therefore, I have a very good idea of the type of magic that must have been used this time. How do you know, really, if you're not a witch yourself? The magic behind this mysterious figure that appeared out of nowhere, glided through the air and vanished after making the kill? Indeed, yes. And the witch's scepter confirms my theory. Oh, really? Please tell me. A brilliant deduction. I am honored to have studied under an excellent teacher such as yourself, Miss Primstone. Oh, so she's your teacher. Amazing. She was his teacher? Actually, I guess that kind of explains a lot. What exactly? Was it... What? Did I miss something? Our occult crime analysts have arrived at the same conclusion. Mr. Wright, I found it. The page about the purple magic gem. The spell's called Familia. Familia. What does it do? The spell Familia, bound within this purple gem, is used to summon a familiar. Familiars appear out of nowhere, glide through the air, and vanish when their task is accomplished. They are evil, bloodthirsty spirits used by witches to perform outrageous crimes. Evil spirits? Are you saying that the witch used the familiar to... It was a familiar that took Sir Belduc's life, and now it has appeared again. Sir Silkhat was probably trying to ward off the evil spirit with his knife. But what good is a knife against an occult creature? It completed the task given to it by the witch and promptly vanished, thus bringing us to the conclusion that Sir Belduc and Sir Silkhat were both killed by the same witch. That doesn't explain anything. I still don't get it how they connected. This makes no sense to me. What an unexpected turn of events. I mean, Sir Silkhat, as you call him, turned into gold. I don't see how spirit could do that. Just saying. What an unexpected turn of events. The two incidents have been shown to be connected, due to the same witch's scepter having been used in both cases. Oh, really? I still don't see it. Oh, this is terrible. Now Maya is accused of 2 murders. Oh, dearie, dearie me. I was right as always. This gruesome murder will be in the next exam. Make sure to take notes. Now I shall divulge what really happened. Make sure to take notes. I have some flashbacks of Persona. We're all ears, Miss Primstone. Well, maybe only you. That hat maker was pointing the knife at the witch's familiar. And... wait. Is that all? Press.
Hold it!
Did you actually see the familiar? Oh, dearie, dearie me. No, I did not. When that boy opened the door, the familiar had just disappeared. Had the boy opened the door sooner, no doubt we all would have seen it. If he were my student, I would have made sure to teach him not to dilly-dally. Haha. He's angry.
Hang on!
Is everything alright, Luke? You seem to be in deep thought about something. No, it's not right at all. Is there something in Miss Primstone's testimony that you'd like to comment on? That's what I keep telling you. The professor wouldn't point a knife at anyone. Even a ghost? Dearie, dearie me. What an impertinent child. I'm telling you, I saw a knife. I distinctly saw a glint of a sharp blade. At any rate, as we can see now, the victim's arm is missing. As such, there is no proof that he had the knife.
Objection!
That is but a mere detail, it matters not. A mere detail matters not? Oh my, anyhow I wonder, where could that missing arm be? Yeah. Yeah, that ought to be looked into. That's right, the arm, wasn't it found in the crime scene? I swear I never saw it there. Oh, golden arm, where can you be? Reveal yourself, listen to my plea. Oh, dearie, dearie me, I'm afraid even I did not notice it. It is indeed astonishing that the arm could have disappeared from the crime scene. Well, if it was detached from his other body, I mean his whole body, someone seeing a golden arm could have wanted it with them, right? I mean, they couldn't probably drag the whole statue But the arm is possible to be removed, right? I mean, taken with them. The professor will need his arm when he returns to normal. You think he will? It's an all-out robbery. Go and investigate it. The boy's request is not unreasonable. I will order our occult criminalists to search for it. How could the arm just up and vanish from the crime scene? I wonder too. That just might be the clue I need to give me Nola. Stop. The upper hand over Barnum. The court considers the whereabouts of the arm irrelevant to this trial. What? How? Mr. Wright, make sure that you limit your interrogation to relevant matters. Yes, Your Honor. Now continue with the interrogation. Well, since no one saw... we haven't found the hand, so no one can't really prove if there was any knife. So I'm gonna use hint here too, just because I don't want to waste my time. What do you think, Mr. Wright? We need to dig down to the truth as soon as possible for Maya and for Luke too. I hope we can do it. It'd be easier if there were some clear contradictions in their testimonies, but I haven't noticed anything. Perhaps this time we should take a step back and observe each witness while they are not the ones speaking. So you're telling me to press again? But I used the hint! Press.
Hold it!
No way!
Well, I already pressed him. Others don't seem to have changed. She's talking about Luke, huh? And when you entered the room, you saw the victim pointing at something. Pointing a knife, no less. A knife! As I told you before, it was a sharp, glittering knife. The poor man thought a knife would work on familiar. Had he attempted my classes, he would have known better. In any case, there's no proof that the victim actually had a knife. It's certain now that the professor and Maya weren't facing each other. Next witness, you may, sing us your testimony? I don't get it. Oh, my hint is still active, so I don't really get it. My hint is active and it's not helping me. I already... Am I supposed to do it again on the boy? I already did that.
Hang on! Objection!
How the hell the hint just doesn't really help me. I'm going in circles. We have already seen it, so I'm just gonna skip it. Wait, huh? That ought to be looked into. So that's something new?
Hang on!
Mister, do you have something you'd like to share with us? Besides drinks? Mr. Emir. It's Mr. Emir Punchenbog. First, to you, Bluey. The likes of you ought to show some respect for a future man of wealth, such as me. You seem to be looking ahead to a future full of newly gained riches. I can look wherever I bleeding please. Anyway, why are you looking at me like that? I know about that golden bloke's right arm. Excuse me, Mr. Wright. What is it, Spella? Spella, that's her name. Totally forgot. I may be wrong, but there's something about that man. Wouldn't you say he looks suspicious? He looks suspicious to me in the first trial we met him, but he turned to be just a nice guy, so I don't know. It's not just you, everything about him is so shady it makes me want to double check my pockets. Does it? Strange. Mr. Emir, stop pretending you don't know anything about the victim's missing arm. Pretending? I told ya I know nothing. Nada. Zero. Nil. Nil? I ain't seen it. Or heard about it. Or put it in my pocket. That's what you did, didn't you? Aha. So all this gold. I told you. Someone took it. So all this gold on him. It's from the arm. Put it in your pocket? It wasn't me, honest. Seriously, I've got nothing to do with it.
Objection!
Oh, yes you do.
Mia! You lying, cheating, good for nothing! You tried to deceive me!
Huh? Oh no, fifth witness again. Who is that person? I'd like to know too. You want to know who I am? I'm Prince the Pawnbroker. And this man is a shameless cheating bum. He had the nerve to lie to me. What did he lie to you about? I'll tell you. On the day of the crime, Amir came to my shop. He waltzed up to me, saying he'd got his hands on a superb work of art, rare as gold dust. I think I know where this is going. Yeah, I already figured it out. That work of art. Could it be? I've got it right here. It's hand. Just like I thought. That's... Oh my. Professor? It's the professor's arm! Yeah, it is. Ew. It's pure gold, exquisitely crafted. It was entitled, Towards Tomorrow, or something like that. I'd never seen a piece of gold as so fine before, and so, suspecting nothing, I paid that rascal a rather handsome sum. Who would have thought? And what am I hearing now? That it was a human arm, no less. You, sir, are a monster. You are as bad as the witch's familiar yourself. I didn't know it was his arm, I swear. When I saw it, it was already like that. Yeah, but you are here to testify about... Never mind, what do you mean? I was last to the scene and it caught me eye right away. That golden arm pointing up at the ceiling with such optimism and authority. Yeah, I can see that. I thought it looks like it's showing me the way to a better, brighter future tomorrow. To me, it was a work of art, a precious one at that. And then it found its way into your pocket and you pawned it? You mounted it on a crude stand, gave it a poetry title and passed it off as some kind of a sculpture. Don't try and look away from the truth now. Darn it. I can look wherever I darn please. I look away from the facts and forward to the future. Always look on the bright side. That's Emir Puncher Bog's motto. You forgot first. Puncher Bog. The arm is back. How did they actually fix it into his body? Where were we now? Ah, yes, the victim's arm has now been successfully reattached by one of our masterful craftsmen. And also notice the way his hand just points a finger. How was there any knife in his hand? Knights of the court, you may resume the inquisition. At least one thing's clear now. As everyone can see, the victim definitely wasn't holding a knife. Oh dearie, dearie me. It seems I may have been mistaken after all. When you think about it, the victim had already been turned to gold when we entered the room. According to the witnesses' testimonies, that was the case, yes. Well then, I'm sure you'll concede that it was easy to mistake that glittering pointing finger for a knife. Oh really? Indeed, the victim's finger has a gleam to it, resembling that of a sword's edge. Such a sense of power and intensity, it's enough to send a shiver down the spine of anyone being pointed at. Yeah, kinda. No puzzle is a match for the power of the professor's pointing finger. I like Phoenix's pointing finger more, to be honest. I guess no one remembers I'm known for pointing like that too. Well, no one here knows about it, so I think your pointing finger makes quite an impression too, Mr. Wright. She's just taking pity on me. I don't think so. I think she's just being nice. Is that all you had to say, Sir Blue Knight? Huh? As I said before, whether the victim had the knife or not, it is completely irrelevant. Yeah, what he said. You'd better apologize to me now. What? Badgering me for no reason like that. Is that all there is to it? Or could that arm hold some more clues? Must be. We've come this far. Maybe there's something else you could ask about. She's right. I need to ask some more questions. Well then, Mr. Emir, perhaps you could tell me one more thing about that arm. He already told us when he found it. He said he came last to the rooms and... Didn't no one saw the arm before him? That's bizarre. How much did he pawn it for? Where was it lying? But where was it lying was... He already said it was just in the... Well, maybe I want to know about that. You found the arm on the floor pointing upwards, you said. Yeah, I did. Fingers skippers, I say. It was pointing straight up at the ceiling. The arm somehow happened to fall down in such a way that it landed upright. What are the odds of that? Actually, that reminds me of a puzzle. Oh, not now. Now, if you could just show us on this floor plan here. I'd like to know the exact spot where you found the victim's arm. Sure, I remember that well. Are you sure? It was right there. So it was... Okay. Yes. That's where you would expect it to have fallen. No, that's where it was. Then something's definitely not right. I find it strange how the sword is just so away from them. If it was used to cut his arm. If you keep looking at the sketch so intensely, you shall burn a hole in it. Or perhaps you're going to claim there is a contradiction in it somewhere. Now, how do you know? This arm is the final clue left by the professor. Even after turning to gold, he was pointing out something important, namely the key to solving this case. Well, Defender, do you see any problems in the locations as marked in the sketch? Yeah. Of course. If it's an option, there's always a problem. Of course there is a problem. Shh. And where would that be precisely? The professor's arm has armed me with some vital evidence. Its location leads to a huge contradiction. I hope it is, because I have no idea what it is. In that case, why don't you enlighten us and show us this so-called contradiction? What contradiction does the victim's arm create? Fuck. I wanted to save the game. The sword?
Got it.
I don't know, but I just think it's... No, it's not. And this is the witch's... Oh. I guess I was right. Oh, it wasn't a knife, it was scepter? It was scepter! I'm stupid. Let's go over the order of events as per the witnesses' testimonies. First, the witch cast a spell on the professor, turning him to gold. When all of you rushed to the crime scene, the golden statue fell down, making a loud noise. Next, the witch dropped the scepter. What are you getting at, Sir Blue Knight? All witnesses agree with this order of events. That's right, and they all agree that's how it happened. But then there's the arm. Well, what about it? Spit it out. Let's assume that Maya was the witch. Now look at the sketch again. The witch dropped the scepter after having turned the professor into gold. The scepter tumbled along the floor and was found here, as asserted by the prosecution. However, that would be impossible. There's no way it could have been there. Oh, I see it now. The arm, it was. Yep, I'm glad you seem to have noticed. The victim's arm was on the floor right here, standing on its end. Therefore, the scepter couldn't possibly have fallen that way. Ergo, it couldn't have been the defendant who dropped the scepter. In other words, Maya is not a witch. Bingo. Can we go home? The Inquisition's reasoning has been proven invalid through just one single piece of unusual evidence. Call it Layton's magical touch. The professor sacrificed his arm to leave us just the evidence needed to turn this thing around. That was amazing, Mr. Wright. Professor?
Objection!
Oh no, not that again. An admirable deduction, Sir Blue Knight. That I cannot deny. Even if we are to assume your reasoning is correct and that girl is... that girl in cage is not a witch. Even if... In the many trials I have attended, I have become well versed in certain aspects of magic. I am all too aware. I am all too aware of its potential to confuse people, befuddle their minds, and make their memories fuzzy, hazy. Damn it! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I can't speak today. I know it's painful. No one can resist such a maddening influence. What are you trying to say, Inquisitor? The scepter could not have tumbled across the floor if the arm were in its way. However, can we be sure that that is where the arm was? Are all of the witnesses able to confirm its location at the time?
Objection!
But no one said anything against it so far, so we have heard that they had to say several times now. They agreed that the scepter fell after the victim fell over. And yet no one actually saw the scepter being dropped. Witnesses, think back to that incident once more. Did the golden statue fall over first, or did the staff fall before it? Think carefully about what you have seen and heard. Everything hinges on your testimonies. May your words guide us to the truth and decide the fate of this caged witch. I was about to get ready to leave, but it seems there's a need for further questioning. Testify once more, witnesses. Yeah. My guess is we're not going to leave anytime soon. I was only focusing on the professor, so I don't remember much else. I don't know, I got their last sights. That thing was glinting and glittering away, so I couldn't see much else. Bewitched by love or beloved by a witch, the poor cove knows not which is which. Dearie me, I remember how obvious it seems now. The staff was dropped before the statue fell over. I bet I have to press her testimony because everyone else said nothing of interest. Well, wait a minute. What you all said just now is totally different from your previous testimonies. Sir Blue Knight, you are starting to notice it now, aren't you? What? That everyone in the witness stands shouldn't be even there? That is the way of magic. Such is the effect this black art tends to have upon those who witness it. The witnesses are not lying, but simply having trouble remembering the truth. What a convenient excuse. Confronted with magic, their brains turn to mush, huh? Ever since our ancestors drank from the fountains of wisdom and obtained the capacity for reason, witchcraft has been the one thing to remain incomprehensible even to most intelligent of us. Nevertheless, the onus is on us to stand up against magic and pass judgment on these witches. And so, here we are doing battle with the weapons of the wise, words. With words, we shall pass judgment upon this supposed witch. So you call her supposed witch now? Defender, you may begin your interrogation and help us arrive at the truth. I hope I will. You haven't said anything about that until now. Well, that couldn't have been helped. How so? Now, everyone listen well. Pencils in hand, be sure to take notes. Miss Primstone's lesson number 4. Memories are not always pretty. Some things are better forgotten. Trying to remember them only leads to trouble. This will be in the exam. You're saying that the victim fell over and his arm broke off after the scepter was dropped, are you not? Correct. Well done. And so the contradiction is no more.
Objection!
But that's inconsistent with all the previous testimonies.
Objection!
You're quick to forget what I have told you, Sir Blue Knight. The witnesses are not lying, they are merely having trouble remembering the truth. Then what's the point of questioning them? She might not remember it saying these things now. Huh? We must do our utmost to find the truth within what they say. It's no use, these guys aren't making any sense. What Inquisitor Barnum said must be true. They've been confused by magic. Spella. We always try to make sense of what we see. So when what we see makes no sense, we lose track of what's real. I guess that makes cross-examination a little pointless. At least when everyone here believes it's so easy to get confused by magic. Well, we need to do something or else Maya will be done for. I'll listen to the witnesses again and try to find something we can use. Good luck. Good luck to me too. I'm gonna use hint. I have plenty of those. Oh, interesting. The poor cove knows not which is which. Huh? That actually kinda sounded interesting. Would you mind translating your song into plain speech? He never does that. Oh, I shall simplify it once more, just for you, esteemed knight of the court. First of all, let's talk about love. It's a pretty neat slang rhyme for cow. Never mind. A cove is a slang for a chap, you see. What's chap? This guy sounded interested into it, so question? Mr. Amir, you seem to be pondering something very deeply. Yeah, caught me unawares there, Bluey. Did something in Mr. Burley's statement catch your attention just now? Nah, nothing in particular. I was just thinking. That Bart's song really got to me. I really kind of feel it in my heart. I appreciate your appreciation of my art. You know, I meant to ask you something. Why don't you become me, Private Bart? You could sing all about the heroic life of Emir Punchenbog first. I could gladly sing of your adventures if it pleases you, kind sir. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Show me what you've got. Very well. As per your request, guys, you could just negotiate that later. Oh, Grand Emir Puncherbog the First, will you fortune quench your thirst? Having bravely flinched the golden arm, now you've duped the pawn shop man. I hope my song was up to your liking, sir. Har har. Yeah, very poetic. Gulp, 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 gulp. Okay. Your drinking matter is quite inspiring, but whatever is that skull bottle hiding? Okay. So we have learned nothing useful at all. Just that Emir has questionable taste in music. I guess. Sometimes it is the best not to probe too deeply, Sir Blue Knight. Why not? Well then, let us just pretend we heard none of that and proceed with the interrogation. Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
Hold it!
Maybe I should just continue pressing him because what he said first sounded really interesting. Then we have the word witch, and it's homophone witch. Right? Next we have the delightful consonants of beloved and bewitched. It is ultimately a song about confusion. I'm confused. So it worked? To be honest, there is nothing more to it. It is merely an artistic expression of my feelings. Oh, so it's got nothing to do with this case, does it? I am a well of melodious words and poetic music. That is my only claim. Oh, dearie, dearie me.
Hang on!
May I ask you a question, Miss Brimstone? Dearie, dearie me, oh dearie, dearie me. My dear, do not frighten me so. I feel like a schoolgirl caught napping during class. Do you have something to say about the testimony we have just been hearing? Miss Brimstone's lesson number 1. Asking questions lead to nothing but trouble. What? I thought asking questions lead you to knowledge. As soon as people learned to speak, they began to get themselves into trouble with silly questions. This will be on the exam. It's easy to remember. I feel sorry for her pupils, having to learn about her gloomy outlook on the world. Quite frankly, I feel more sorry for us, Espella. Carry on with the interrogation. Guess I have to press that guy again, because I think we stopped on the most interesting spot. That parrot seemed to have something interesting to tell us. Oh, what could my peerless partner Cracker be thinking about now, I wonder? Perhaps I should sing a song about it? No, please, that's fine. No, wait. Huh? I don't get it then. It's no use, these guys aren't making any sense. I already read that. I don't get it.
Hold it!
I don't think there will be anything new here. But next time, if I won't move to anything, I guess.
No way!
Oh! I pressed the wrong person, huh?
Hang on!
Luke, would you like to say something? Oh, sorry. I guess I spaced out a bit. What is it, Mr. Wright? You seem to be thinking pretty hard about something during Mr. Birdley's song testimony just now. Is there something you would like to share with us? Well, I've been thinking about what Mr. Barnum said a while ago. What was that exactly? That humans who witness magic become confused and lose sight of what's real, and they end up not knowing what actually happened. Well, I was thinking Mr. Barnum might be right. And then it occurred to me that there might be a way. I mean, we do have with us a witness who isn't human. Oh damn, you're right. Haven't we already interrogated a parrot in Ace Attorney series? This situation seems oddly familiar. I asked him earlier if he remembers the events clearly or not. He said he has a memory better than the elephant and remembers everything perfectly well. That's right. I almost forgot Luke can talk to animals. Mr. Wright, I know it sounds crazy, but please let me try. Let me ask Cracker to testify. Oh dearie me. Should I? What do you mean? Of course! I'm stuck now anyway, and the witnesses' testimonies are all over the place. The question is, would they let us do that? A new testimony would be a wild card, but it might be just the thing to turn this trial on its head. But it's a crazy idea, alright. If I make a mistake now, I'll put myself in a tight spot. Defender, are you still with us? This is not the time nor the place for daydreaming. What do you intend to do? It looks as though you have exhausted all means for a counterattack, Sir Blue Knight. Knight in Blue. Is it not time you drop your sword? If you have no further questions for the witness's defender, I will consider your interrogation finished. What will it be then? Are we finished here? I've got zero time to think it over. Better make a choice now. I mean, it's not even a question now. I can't... Of course! Your Honor, the defense would like to summon a new witness. A new witness, you say? Who do you have in mind? It's a witness you all know, by the name of Mr. Cracker. Mr. Cracker? I know of no man by that name. Mr. Cracker! The defense summons its new witness, Mr. Cracker the Parrot. A parrot as a witness? What? What? So it's not anything too amazing, because come on, you are the witches are at the trial here, so this is the witches' court. Joking around will be considered contempt of court.
Objection.
Mr. Cracker witnessed the crime. He saw it happen and he heard it too. He is as valid a witness as the others.
Objection.
Maybe even better. No. That word is nothing but a pet animal. Referring to it as Mr. will not change that.
Objection.
We can try though. Humans are confused by magic to the extent that they lose sight of what's real. That's what you yourself said, Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum.
Objection.
Calling me by my full name does not help justify such brash foolishness. The Inquisition is against interrogating a parrot. By the way, kind sirs, I suppose you should know that my dear companion never forgets a sound he hears. He remembers everything he hears, huh? It's definitely worth asking Cracker to testify. That's interesting. The court sees the situation as follows. The witnesses' testimonies do not hold together. In fact, they are as erratic as that Bart's songs. I cannot see this trial getting any more confusing. Very well, the defense may summon this avian witness. Can you believe it? What's up with Mr. Bluesuit? Summoning the parrot as a witness? Summoning? Does he mean like how the familiar was summoned? By the hook or by crook, I'll do whatever I can to save Maya. Be it summoning a parrot or a familiar, whatever it takes, within the boundaries of the law, of course. But you'll still save her, right? Oh, it's so cute. Alright. Witness, state your name and profession. Not so fast. I hardly even know where to begin, but... First of all, what's the matter with that boy looking so pleased with himself? He looks like the cat that got the cream. Ah, that'd be me, wouldn't it? Don't mind me. Just think of me as the perch for Cracker, that's all. And just what is the purpose of questioning a bird? A parrot may be able to repeat what others say, but it cannot talk on its own. It's precisely because Cracker doesn't talk in his own words that he's certain to tell us the truth. What? Cracker remembers every sound he hears, even just the ones with absolute perfection, so let's have him testify exactly what he heard. And if Cracker can repeat every sound, I'd say this should be a valuable testimony. I cannot believe this is happening. But it does. It is. A witness that cannot talk will not lie either. This idea is much to my liking. Well then, may our new witness, a Cracker, testify to the court. We wish to know exactly what you heard from the beginning of the incident. They'll have to question it, I guess. Okay. Slam? Uh-huh. So something slammed and then the hand fell.
Objection!
What's this now? Why, those are the sounds of the incident. Exactly as Cracker heard them. Stop punching the poor table, oh my god. Ludicrous. Ludicrous. I should just give up. Evidently, this is nothing but a farce after all. What do you mean, Inquisitor Barnum? I must admit I found the parrot's testimony quite impressive. Even if that bird can accurately recall the sounds, it is clearly useless when it comes to the order of events. You mean there's a problem with the order? First, the witch used magic to turn the victim into gold. Then the witnesses arrived. It is reasonable to assume they cried out in terror when they did so. And yet this testimony does not accurately convey such an order of events. It starts with a sudden scream, followed by the door abruptly opening, and then a witness crying out. But why did he say slam was the sound of the door? You can't really be sure. Next, we hear the victim having turned into gold falling down. So far, so reasonable. But the real issue is as follows. The parrot seems to think the witch cast her spell after the witnesses entered. Such a suggestion is inconceivable. The reason is simple. At that time, the victim had already been turned into gold. Ah. Indeed. It is as you say, Inquisitor Barnum. Well, maybe she decided to turn something else into gold? The parrot's capacity for imitation is excellent. I will concede that its testimony does have some entertainment value. However, this animal's testimony cannot be allowed to stand as proof in this honorable court of law. Don't write Cracker off just like that. Do you now see how foolish you were to summon this parrot as a witness? No. Not good, Phoenix. Not good at all. Should I really go through with this cross-examination when it feels like everyone in this court is against me? Yeah? I don't care. The defense wishes to cross-examine a witness. What? Are you serious? Did you not hear what I said? Are you choosing to ignore my words? Yes. You're less important than a parrot to me. A witness that cannot talk cannot lie either. This parrot's testimony is the naked truth. He's simply repeating the sounds as he heard them. It's humans who make assumptions about the meaning of those sounds and arbitrarily decide whether the testimony is good or not. But as knights of the court, shouldn't we be striving to uncover the truth to which this parrot holds the key? The truth, you say? Very well. Show us the truth that this bird purportedly... Never mind. Interrogate that parrot. Meanwhile, I shall enjoy the show. Will you? Will you do it, Mr. Wright? I don't have a choice. Do you think it's hopeless? Defender, you may interrogate the witness. I probably will use hint. I use this hints all this time. Today, I mean. Slam! I just love the way he pronounced it. Slam! Present. Good door. Present, huh? Gold door. Gold door. You want me to present that?
Objection.
Okay. There is a critical contradiction in this testimony. We are all aware of that, Sir Blue Knight. This contradiction is between your so-called desire to find the truth and the fact that you are interrogating a parrot. I feel hopeless. That's not what I'm talking about, Inquisitor. There is a contradiction here that makes one thing particularly clear. The fact that we have clearly all made a wrong assumption. How so? Luke, can you ask the Cracker? Just ask Cracker to repeat the incantation once more. Right you are. Go door. Go door? According to the Grand Grimoire, the name of the gold transmutation spell is Goldor. Now, Inquisitor, it would seem to me that the spell we have just heard is in fact... I skipped it. Fuck. Well, I never... Unbelievable. Goldor and Godor.
Objection!
This is ridiculous. That wretched bird must have misheard the incantation.
Objection!
Cracker is able to imitate sounds perfectly. The incantation was indeed misheard, but only by the people hearing it.
Objection!
The victim was found already in his golden state. That is proof enough that the Goldor spell was used.
Objection!
But you are forgetting that Cracker heard this incantation after that spell had already taken place, which makes it entirely possible that this Goldor spell was used as well. In other words, another spell besides the gold transmutation magic must also have been used. Another spell that we haven't yet considered? Now the next question that needs to be asked is, just what is this Godor spell?
Objection!
Utter foolishness. This is absurd. As convenient as it would be for you, there is no way that a spell by the name of Godor exists. How do you know? Oh, Mr. Wright. Huh? What is it? I found it, the page about the spell, Godor. It's listed in the Grand Grimoire. Right here. It exists? What? What does it do? What's the spell about? Godor. Probably opens a magical door for you to escape the place or something. Just like I thought, Cracker remembered it exactly. But then, what kind of magic is this Godor? Well, my lord, the Grand Grimoire describes it in the following way. Godor creates a portal on two sides of green-colored walls. The portal will disappear after 5 minutes. Creates a portal on green-colored walls. A portal spell on two sides of green-colored walls. The portal will disappear after 5 minutes. That's a huge time period, I'd say. Aren't you a lucky man? It appears even the Grand Grimoire is on your side. However, there is a fatal flaw in your explanation. I'd like to know that too. It is really quite simple. Think back to how the alchemist's study looked at the time of the incident. And how? Do you remember any green walls? Because I do not. There were none. Is that where it all happened? All the walls were coated with white plaster. Well, actually, there is some green paint behind that picture there on the wall. In other words, it was impossible to use Godor in that room. Oh, I tell you there is. I too have visited that alchemist's study since the incident. I remember very well that all the walls in that room were a dull shade of white. Your little theory was interesting, Sir Blue Knight. Sir Knight in Blue, but it has proven to be nothing more than that, a mere wild guess. As long as you cannot prove that this Godor spell was used, your little theory shall be considered no further. Well, I can prove there is a possibility for this. Do you, perchance, have any proof that you could show us? Can you prove that it was feasible for the witch to have used Godor in that room? This is no coincidence. That spell must have been used in the crime scene, but do I have the proof that it was even possible to use Godor? Naturally, I have proof. I always do. It's been on my mind for a while. That inexplicable mark. It has to be the evidence that ties up all the loose ends. The defense wishes to present evidence. Impossible. You are just blind. The determination in your eyes made me think you would. Now then, we shall allow the defense to present its evidence to the court. Present the proof that the spell Godor was used at the scene of the crime. Floor plan? Behind the painting.
Take that!
The walls in the study are coated with white plaster. Not all of them, though. There is just one spot, which is green. Oh, there is. I noticed it when investigating the crime scene. You may recall that there was a small painting behind the desk. As for some reason, the wall behind it was painted green. It was what? I recall seeing that painting myself too. If we look at this floor plan, I'd say it was around here. Mr. Wright, I'll mark it on the floor plan. Okay. It's been bothering me since I saw it, but now it's clear what it was. At the time of the incident, a portal opened up behind that painting. In other words, that was the wall utilized for the spell Godor.
Objection!
You're certainly persistent. You just want a portal to be there so much, don't you? Well, you can't deny I am right. The wall behind the painting was green, and that's a fact. Incidentally, I remember that painting well. It was a small landscape piece, and about the size of, say, an open ground grimoire. Yes, it was about that size indeed, a small adorable picture. Even if a portal had opened in that small patch of green, no person would be able to pass through it. In fact, they'd just about be able to put their arm through, at the most. Would be pretty much enough to struggle someone, right? So, will you please explain how a witch could possibly have escaped through the portal this small? He's right, Mr. Wright. No one could have got through a portal that small. Maybe they were behind the wall all this time and all they needed to do is just stick out hands? Have you anything to say? Or are you so crushed by the realization of your mistake that words fail you? The portal was too small for a person. It doesn't require much thinking to figure that out. But that aside, a very obvious question remains. If it wasn't a human, then what could have passed through that portal? You have put an interesting spin of on things. Why don't you answer your own question? You talk as if you know everything, so please enlighten us. So you don't know. A small portal was opened in the wall at the crime scene. And I have all the clues as to what that could mean. I have no idea, so I'm gonna say it. I literally have no idea. What went through the wow, I saved right at time. What went through the portal was the witch, small animal, something else. Small animal. A human wouldn't be able to squeeze through that portal, which leaves us with just one other possibility. It was a small animal like a ferret or a cat, or maybe even a... Mr. Wright, I'd appreciate if you stopped stealing glances at Cracker. Hang on! Hang on! Squawk! Hang on! Hang on! What? Are you suggesting that my peerless musical companion was somehow involved in this crime? What's certain is this. The portal opened and that wall would have been about the size of this book. It would be too small for a person. As for your suggestion regarding small animals, let me suggest that you leave this court. What? Mr. Wright, don't let them make you feel small. Let's think about this one more time. You thought I was right? Small... Well then. I guess the witch is not right, since it's not possible no human could have passed through a portal that small. Even a witch couldn't have pulled that off. So are you finally forsaking your mistaken assumptions? I haven't finished, Inquisitor. The fact remains that something else could have passed through that portal. Oh, and just what would that be, Miss Surblinite? The portal was created after the professor had been turned into gold. The witch had a good reason behind that. She must have had to move something through that portal. What could have that been? You have captured my curiosity. I'd like to know what passed through the portal. Me too. Tell us, what did the witch use the magic portal for? It was either this or this. I have no idea, so I'm gonna use hint. Paint, or so it's this.
Take that!
Considering the state of the crime scene, there is just one possible answer, and that is Vitalia Magica.
Objection!
What? What's this now? Vitalia Magica was found at the crime scene. A portal has nothing to do with it.
Objection!
Inquisitor Barnum, you're making the wrong assumption. Wrong assumption? The witch wasn't trying to remove evidence from the crime scene. She wanted to plant it. She threw the witch's scepter into the room through that portal.
Objection!
Stop doing that. You and your crazy theories. Do you even realize what you're saying? Well, who's crazy here? If she threw the stuff into the room, she did it to deceive us. Her goal was to make us draw the wrong conclusions. When the incident took place, the witch herself wasn't in the room. She cast the spell from the outside. What? Damn cool, right? And that's not all. There is even more proof that the staff was thrown into the room from the outside. What proof? That proof is not other than the Professor Layton's previously severed right arm. Huh? The victim's arm? How does that prove anything? None of the witnesses have testified they saw witch's scepter. However, a few of them claim to have heard it rattling across the floor. That's right. Please take a look at this floor plan. Since the arm was standing upright here, no, the defendant couldn't have been the one to have dropped the scepter. Now think about it. Where would you need to drop the scepter from in order for it to end up here. Right. That's right. The scepter could only have come from the small portal created by the spell Godor. This is most unexpected. The witch wasn't in the room when the crime occurred. Or at least that's the defense's claim. It's the only thing that explains all the contradictions we have run into.
Objection.
Sir Blue Knight, with that imagination of yours, you could aspire to write fantasy stories. A nice try, I must admit. However, this line of assertion is futile. There is a glaring contradiction in your words. Like how, what? Another contradiction, whatever are you referring to, Inquisitor Barnum? This is the Talia Magica that was used in this incident. As we have established, there are 2 magic gems in it. One for the gold transmutation spell, Goldor, and one for the shadow familiar spell, Familia. Oh, so you can't use Go-Door spell with this one. But maybe Witch had another scepter with her? Witch in possession of this staff would not have been able to cast Godor. Yes, you're absolutely right. But you can't write off all the evidence supporting my theory as mere coincidence. Why must your agreement always be followed by a but? What I'm getting at is, this Talia Magica is not genuine. Not genuine? That's right. And naturally, the one responsible for this deception is the real culprit of the crime. Enough of the suspense. It's too much for a man of my age. The defense shall reveal what is meant by this so-called deception. Huh? Maybe I should check out? It's hard to tell. At least I don't think Grand Grimoire is gonna help me.
Got it.
No! I pressed by mistake. Please don't punish me, please. That's true though. Witch must have it. I'm suddenly a little ashamed to be standing here at your side. Wow. Fuck. I should save the game because I guess just part of it isn't what it seems. But I don't see it. I can't save. I'm gonna use hint because I can't save in here. What? How is this? I don't get it. And how do you tell?
Got it.
First, I want to clarify one thing. Can we be certain that the Thalia magic in question is authentic? Without doubt. The metal rod in its center is called the Spina Magica. The witch's mark on its tip is clearly visible and highly detailed. It is impossible to forge, even by the finest craftsmen in all Labyrinthia. I can guarantee you its authenticity. That leaves us with only one possibility. The forgery in question is the Familia magic gem. What? Forged magic gem?
Objection.
Well, I guess it's not really magic now. That is an insult to our investigators.
Objection.
Only witches can use the power of these magic gems, can't they? So tell me, how can you know whether a magic gem is the real thing or not?
Objection.
Hold it there. We know for certain that the spell Goldor was used. It is undoubtedly not forged. But what about Familia? Did anyone actually see a familiar at the crime scene? That's 3 months ago, when an investigation was carried out into Sir Belduke's death. The results yielded the following conclusion. The spell Familia had been used to summon a familiar, which in turn carried out the murder. How did the hell they come to this conclusion if no one was in the room when the death happened? This is so stupid. And the witch used exactly that to her advantage. Another similar incident at the same crime scene. Don't you think that would be the perfect opportunity for the witch to frame the defendant for her crimes? The defendant would be blamed for both the professor and Sir Belduke's deaths, and she'd be taken for the real witch. Oh, that was the real culprit's objective. I don't really have clear proof of that though. There is a chapter in the Magic Archive, an old collection of tales of the occult, about the way to test whether or not a magic gem is genuine. Oh, cool. How can we test it, my lord? It is very simple. A genuine magic gem is composed of a mineral with a density lower than that of a pure water. All you need to do is see if the magic gem floats on the water. That is simple indeed. All non-magical minerals in our world, with the exception of sepiolite and a few other special kinds, sink in water. These eerily sparkling magic gems, however, will never sink when put into water. You seem to know a lot of witches. Well, he tries them. Bailiff, remove this magic gem for immediate examination. Put it into water, please. Oh, shut up. Defender, if your theory is correct, this could be the biggest occult crime in the history, but another important question remains. I wonder if you can answer it. Who is this supposed real witch that threw the Talia Magica through the portal? It must be Bezella. The real witch. There is only one person that comes to mind. Frankly, I still find it hard to believe, but it's the only possibility. Once I indict her, there will be no turning back. Knowing the consequences, should I give them her name? Mr. Wright. In Labyrinthia, witches are punished by fire. I know you think that's going too far, but even in a world that seems so insane to you, those who take the lives of others must be punished. That's a universal law, isn't it? The witch turned the professor into a golden statue, and that's not all. She took the life of the alchemist too, and now she's trying to pin the whole thing on Maya. I can't just let her get away with that. Well then, defense, let us hear your theory. Who is this witch responsible for using Godor and then throwing the scepter through the resulting portal? I thought of Great Witch Bezella. First I thought of... I mean, she looks so suspicious, but I think it's Jeanne... whatever. It's a girl. No? It might be her, because Phoenix said as her. But we know that this is a boy. But is it really?
Take that!
When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be true. There is only one logical possibility. It has to be that person. The real witch is Jeanne Grey Earl. Grey Earl? I've heard that name somewhere. Wait, isn't that the butler who served Sir Belduc? That's correct.
Objection!
Psh, what's this about? You seem to love rolling out these ridiculous suggestions, but you ignore the obvious. Jeanne Grey Earl is male. Who said so? He looks like a girl to me. Inquisitor Barnum, tell me one thing. Is it only females who can be witches? Are you daft? Of course it's only females. How so? Never in the history of this court has there ever been a male witch. You're so utterly ignorant. You should be ashamed of yourself. Alright, well, who's ignorant here? I'd like to ask another question. Is Jeanne Grey Earl really a male? Huh? What? What a ludicrous question. The defense is certain that Jeanne Grey Earl is witch responsible for using magic on Professor Layton. Oh damn. I suspected him, in the first place. Looked, I mean, it stood out, kinda. Will you stop fooling around? This is a groundless accusation.
Objection!
Groundless, you say? I'm afraid that's where you're wrong. At the time of the crime, John Grey Earl was in the room next to the alchemist's study, and one of the walls in that very room was painted green. It was? What's more, that green wall was the one adjacent to Sir Belgick's study. What? This is madness. Yeah, let's call for to question that person, I guess. Quickly, have the butler summoned to the court. Have John Grey Earl brought here immediately. Certainly, my lord. It shall be done. Well, go ahead and do that. Why are you still here?
There is no need for that.
Oh, she's already here. I can't really... I mean, I don't know how to call it. He or she? I think it's a girl.
I am here. I shall come down right away.
Ah, it's you.
Well then, Mr. Wright. Shall we begin?
Yes. Jean Grey Earl. Earl? It would seem this trial has turned into a new direction. I think we'll need a bit of time to take it in. We shall take a brief intermission. But you said bring the person right now. Never mind. Inquisition, defense, sharpen your swords and wits to prepare yourselves for the next stage of this battle. I sure will. Yes, Your Honor. It shall be done, my lord. By the time we resume, the examination into the magic gem should have ended as well. Now the court is adjourned for a brief intermission. You didn't say for how long. But never mind. To be continued. That's the perfect spot. Yeah. You are not gonna ask me if I want to save the game? Thank you very much. It is gonna ask me. I kind of got scared there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next part, where we are gonna question our new witness, suspect. Yeah. Bye.